Fighting in the land of giants. Heavyweight boxers, part take 3. So, where were we? This dude, Fury, huh? No, this dude, Usyk, no. We're talking about, look at that steely-eyed, crazy-eyed, wild-eyed looks. Um, so, what was I going to say? So, yeah, uh, the Quad has lost to Usyk, this cat over here, man. And everybody said, he quits. And he said, no, man, I can't take that. I can't take that. I don't believe you. You believe me. All right. You think you're calling me out? You think you're telling me that I can't fight and be a heavyweight champion? And you fought Jared Miller, right? That was the first one. And that guy is a beast too, Jared Miller, even though, it's alleged about the the roids and stuff. So who knows? I'm sure there's some truth to that, but I don't know. But he's an interesting dude. That guy's massive, like 300 pounds, 6'4", and just like endurance um, and the capability of just being hit and going forward like a Terminator. And it's interesting, him and Jared Anderson sharing the same moniker, of Big Baby. And they kind of don't like each other. They've had words, and that'd be kind of an interesting fight, actually. Actually, maybe that'd be a nice next fight for Jared Anderson to go against Big Baby Miller. See how that goes in the battle for the name. Who can claim the name? Let's do that. Put that in. All right, Turk. Um. So. You want him towards the end. I think it might even be the last round, 10th round. He TKO. You're very resilient. Yeah, Big Baby. And then he fought. I'm forgetting his name. That dude. Another big guy who fought Zhilei Zhang, and he won, even though a lot of people said Zhilei Zhang won. It was I think it's probably a split decision. What's his name, man? Anyway, so he beat that guy, but he got hit a lot, Daniel Dubois. So that's why when he was going into the fight after that against AJ, everybody said, look, AJ hits harder than the other guy. And he's got mad experience. He's bigger, longer reach. He should be able to take Daniel Dubois out. But Daniel Dubois had another story, another plan. And he took out AJ. So he was now 3 fights that he beat people that everybody said they should beat him. So really interesting where he's at. Joseph Parker lost to Joe Joyce. Well, by the way, Zhilei Zhang beat Joe Joyce twice. Last one was a knockout. Maybe the first one was like obviously beat, unanimous decision. I forget, or maybe it would have knocked out. But the second one was definitive knockout. Yeah, the first one I think was definitely a decision win. Okay, so but then so Joseph Parker then lost to Zhilei Zhang, and he no. What am I thinking? Joseph Parker won. Zhilei Zhang lost to Joe Joyce, and then he beat Deontay Wilder. I mean, these are all crazy how it's all connected. Of course it is. It's the heavyweight landscape. All the old dogs and the big dogs and the new dogs coming in there. So, so let me just do a quick timeline. It's kind of fun for a second. So, I'm just going to go start with Vladimir Klitschko. I'm not going to go into all the fights he had, but he used to be a heavyweight king. I'm trying to think. I know he was a lineal heavyweight champion. I'm trying to think also unified champion, I believe, for many years, and it got a little boring during that time because he was just, the way he fights, he's big, he's tall, and he's smart, and he was very tactical, but it wasn't like the kind of fights where you just like, like, oh, this is crazy. Um, and then, okay, so I think he got that. No, he never like. They fought Lennox Lewis. He was a lineal champion, and I think he had a loss to Vladimir Klitschko. And I don't know if he ever avenged that, but so he had it was lineal went um, from oh my god, it went from Lennox Lewis to Vladimir Klitschko, and then Vladimir Klitschko fought that big guy here. He was doing his Batman antics, being in a Batman costume, and punking Klitschko and stuff, and everybody just thought, we'll see what happened. Then he beat him, unanimous decision beat. Then he went insane. Who? Fury. Klitschko, that's kind of the end of his story until again later on he fights another British bloke king, the bloke king. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So Fury won that, and then he went insane. Not really, but he went on a kind of crazy, and I'm not going to get into that. All that stuff already probably, and so how that was interesting is then his comeback was through the other third king, the American king, the Bronze Bomber Deontay Wilder, was up until that point undefeated, and he had a really interesting fight with Fury, and that was changed the records because they both got now what's it called, a draw. So they both had draws now, and they had to avenge that draw to see or clear it up. So then 2 more fights between Wilder and Fury, and we know who won those. I said that before. Fury came with won those last 2, the third one definitively, and then he was now he was the WBC champion. Who Wilder was a WBC champion, and then he got the belt from him, and then he also had the Ring magazine belt, and then the lineal. So then he fought a bunch of people, and he beat everybody. And he's like, no man, the hit with the mother, blah, 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 can beat me, blah blah blah. And so then he fought Usyk, and before that, and Usyk beat him twice. But in between that, Usyk fought AJ, and he beat AJ twice. Now this is a blown up cruiser, man. Okay, I'm going tangents because this stuff is all crazy, but it would be interesting because now there's this bad cruiserweight named Jai Apataya, and we'll see. He kind of wants to have to fight Usyk, and Eddie Hearn, who's promoter, is trying to get that done. He keeps putting it out there, trying to sell that fight. And Usyk did mention he was interested in going back to cruiserweight. So we'll see how this plays out. I mean, also then Usyk might fight Danny Dubois. Now I was going to say how he can make his record become so sparkling and bright is then fight Dubois and beat him, and knockout would be interesting. But that fight could go either way. Tell you the truth. So it's never guaranteed, but it'd be interesting. Usyk won that, and then did one more fight with Jai Apataya, who's thinking about going up, and Usyk was talking about going down. So it'd be interesting to see what weight they would fight at. So heavyweight, as Jai Apataya is saying, or with the cruiserweight saying he'll go to heavyweight, and the heavyweight's going to say he'll go to cruiserweight. And what weight would better benefit either of them, in that fight? So that'd be interesting. I always said too, kind of curious about Jai Apataya versus Moses Tuma. That'd be interesting. Man, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So many different kind of pieces, moving pieces. Like I said, with Jared Anderson, want to see if he can come back. I think he should fight Gerald Miller. That'd be a badass one. Deontay Wilder. uh, is uh, supposed to come back. He wants to come back, which is good. I wouldn't like to don't go out on a 2 losses, man. You need to get your head though back to that person you were, man. That insane, crazy, wants a body on his record type of fighter. You got to get back to that killer, and I don't know if you can, because you can, as the guy from Rocky, the trainer, said, yeah, yeah, became civilized, and he did to some degree, not just civilized in the sense of because he's rich now, living and sleeping in silk sheets, but also because he's not, he's just become much more, you know, less of like just more, less of a killer. Like he just doesn't, yeah, you don't see that. He needs that. He needs a belief, and he needs that. Now, honestly, Malik is his trainer and stuff. I think he knows his stuff. He's a history buff, but I think, man, Wilder should try to get like a different trainer to get his head around and get him back to that killer. And just the next fight should be the last one if he loses, because then it's just like that's it. I think. But so we'll see what happens with Wilder, and I don't know what his next fight might be. They're saying maybe against the MMA guy, man, Francis Ngannou, who's another beast with a super powerful one-punch knockout power, but his is more like a fighting, sledgehammer, you know, breaks your body as you, like, it hits you, boom, you just feel your whole bones in your body start disintegrating, and dust powder in you, you just fall down like a sack of skin on the ground. Whereas Wilder is like, he just hits you, and you just lights just like you just your head, your whole consciousness is not even that. Just it's just out. You just see that like all your mind, any kind of reality, anything you have in your head, it just boom, you're insane. It's not even saying you just lost it all. You're like boom on the floor, R.I.P. That's the kind of power. So be interesting to see who he gets next. And Ngannou will be an interesting fight. But also another one would be AJ.